Hey guys, so it's New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2014. And I will be spending New Year's Eve all alone, except for Omar, just like I spent Thanksgiving and Christmas all alone, except for Omar. But, as I keep pointing out, at least I'm not locked up in a mental hospital during these holidays. Although I think sometimes, I talk to my mom on the phone, Talk to my mom on the phone. Haven't yet figured out how to, visit her or whatnot, but haven't looked into it too deeply. There's no saying how long she'll be in there. I don't know if she'll get committed again. I just don't know, But I do talk to her on the phone. And, even though she has spent these holidays locked up, she hasn't spent them alone. No. That says something. Not that, it says much, but it does say something. I've spent them all alone except for my dog. No. But, Karen, Omar and I went for a 30-minute, he went poo-poo twice, and pee-pee a million times, several times pee-pee, and poo-poo twice, actually, once in the relatively beginning of the walk, not really, and then at the end. I took your advice. I actually left a cardboard note. The cardboard is less, it's no wind anyway, it's freezing out today here in Massachusetts, but there's no wind, but in any case, I didn't leave a piece of paper. I need to buy more notebooks. You know me, I have to have paper, I'll die. Okay? I have to be able to always write stuff. If I want to. Even if it's just to write down a weird fucking dream that I had. So I wrote on the back of a box I found in my mama's room. And I left it on that woman's car, asking her, taking Karen's advice, and asking her if she could possibly drive me and Omar to the vets. I didn't want to put her on the spot, and that means I didn't ask her ahead of time. So we've got about an hour. We have to leave way ahead of time, me and him, and we're going to walk part way, because I'm not going to pay both ways a fortune for a taxi. I'm at least going to walk part way and then call a taxi. And who knows, you never know, somebody nice in this park might notice me while we're walking and ask what we're going to. You know what I mean? When they see just me, it's one thing. They see me with the dog, they might, and they know it's real cold out, they might ask. You never know. But she's got about an hour, because I have to leave much earlier, obviously, then it's not that far for someone with a car. Right. You understand? It won't, but I was not going to put her on the spot, and he needs to go to the vets. I'm not going to keep putting it off, okay? So, he's going to the vets today no matter what. Obviously, I'm hoping she comes knocking on my door, but she might not see the damn note on her car. You know what I mean? I left it there at 7:30 in the morning. I'm not going to knock on her door. She might not be up. I'm not going to wake anybody up. And she also doesn't live alone, so... that's where it stands. We might have to be walking, Omar. And we won't walk the whole way. We'll walk part of the way. and call a taxi. I'll walk with him and carry the carrier. And the taxi's not going to want him in there loose. You know what I mean? So Redbox, I belong to Redbox, as you guys know, because you know how I was paying for everything when I first moved in here with my mama. She would offer to pay for stuff, and I would say no. And the reason she would offer to pay is because she knew, I don't know, that she had a lot more money than I had. Regardless, I used to get us movies, as you know, and then we joined Netflix. I paid for that too. And I paid for all the Redbox movies, and we used to get Redbox movies. I belong to Redbox, and usually they were sending codes like 50 cents off. Lately they've been sending things like buy one, get one, rent one, get one free. But what I found out is you do it online. I don't know if it's in the store too, but I reserve them anyway. You do it online and you punch in the promo code, and guess what? You don't have to get two. If you get just one, it just charges you $0. So I get a free movie. Last night I rented What If. Cute. It's alright. I mean, it was cute. I'm not really into those movies. I like love stories with some darkness in them. Like Love and Other Drugs definitely has darkness in it, you know. Still a love story about darkness in it, you know. I'm the queen of darkness, in quotations, you know, so. If you wonder why I rented it, no. Well, why not? I had seen the previews before when I was watching something else I rented, so it looked cute, so I rented it. It was free. Figured fluff, just to watch, you know. And then I was writing stuff, not poetry and songs. Trouble. That's why I don't write poetry and songs anymore. Yeah. Why, indeed. One of my subscribers asked me to please not eat when I create videos, but I can't really oblige that. I'm aware of it, and I approved her comment, but like today, if I want to create this video right now, which I do, because I like to create them right after it happened. I don't feel like, you know, tonight creating a video, oh, Omar went poop, you know what I mean? I say, oh, Omar just went poo-poo, or we met a neighbor, or we saw her whatever, saw a wild turkey, or got chased by a coyote. Okay. You know what I mean? So, and right now, since I don't know, and I'm praying to God I don't believe in, at least not in the manner which a good majority on this planet probably believe. That Christian woman gets my note and stops by. I'm not counting on it, and we have to leave. Second best case scenario, no, that would be the best case scenario. The second would be either she or somebody finds me as Omar finds us as we're walking to the store. Whereas, you know, I catch the bus. If I wanted to eat, I had to eat while I was doing, and I wanted to create the video right now, right when we got back from our walkie, to let you know the plans. Those are the plans. God, even if she could drop me off early, and bed opens early, you know, I'd rather be dropped off early and not have to walk. And I'm sure if Omar could talk, he'd back me up, 100%. You know, rather not have to walk, even if we have to sit there an hour or more. I don't know if they'll be happy about that, but they should be happy getting a new customer, you know, new client, new patient. Right, Spaghetti? He's like, yeah, Mama. I only want to sleep. I did my pissing and my pooping and I want to sleep. No, don't get too comfortable, Mom. I will get some snacks tonight. Probably not booze, because as we've already established, I don't really particularly care for drinking alone. George Thorogood. I drink alone. I don't even know if that's George Thorogood, actually. Is George Thorogood that... I like that song. A baby Cincinnati, gonna get gassed. One bourbon, one shot, and one beer. That might be George Thorogood. Bed to the bone. I think that is. I like that one bourbon, one shot, and one beer. Obviously, because I like to get shit-faced crazy and just don't feel like drinking alone, you know? I'm gonna like songs like that, probably. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Mama. You know? They'll either, you know how the drill goes, they'll either, they keep you for a certain amount of time, and that's all the insurance will cover. Speaking of which, I paid her insurance last night time out of pocket, as I told you. And I asked the woman over the phone what to do, what not. I set up an online account coming out of I thought it would come out automatically, but I didn't have it come out automatically. I think because I didn't know what was going to happen, you know. Mama had said that Auntie was paying the bills, so I don't know. But I think I just did it as a one-time thing. And then I set up the account. I had a secret question. I can't even remember the answer to it. You know, my mother's health insurance hasn't even been paid. But since it always gets paid, I mean, I talked to them and I forget what I think, did I talk to them? I think before, when Mom was still in the other hospital, I think I talked to them or something. Oh, because I was concerned what to do if I was going to, I said I was scared, you know, if this doesn't get paid, she's going to lose her health insurance. Like, no, they just put a hold on if she tries to get meds or something, you know. Oh. Alright, well, I'm trying to figure out how to pay this out of pocket. I don't know. Like I said, she could get committed again. She could get released. She could, you know, who knows what could happen. It's like, It's not up to me. I don't know, this is all fucked anyway. All fucked. I'm spending another holiday alone. The holiday's really tomorrow, but you know, I'm spending that alone too. And my mom's spending another holiday locked up in a mental hospital. It's sad. That's sad. I hope that Christian woman comes by, but you know what? I can't rely on it. She could be home and just want to relax and not even look out at her car, and you know, she might not even know that I've put that on there. You know? And I wasn't going to put it in her door or whatnot. That wouldn't make a difference anyway. Because if someone's leaving and they'll see it in the door, if they're leaving, they'll also see it on the windshield of their car. Say, a person will see it on the windshield of his car. So, you know what I mean? No one's going to just open up their door. No person's going to open up his door for no reason, you know, and see that. And I wasn't going to just do that because that might disturb somebody who lives there. Somebody I don't know, you know what I mean? Just because I've gotten to tentatively know the Christian woman doesn't mean I know anybody she's living with, you know, anybody with whom she's, you know, living. Anybody whom she's living with. Anybody with whom she's living, you know. And I'm not going to risk waking anybody up at 7:30 in the morning, you know. So I've left it in the hands of fate, baby. Omar, we've left this in the hands of fate. We probably got about 45 minutes, and we're going to have to leave. We're going to have to go out in the bitter, bitter, bitter cold. Just like we just did for Waukee. I wish I knew where your sweater was. So, that's it, peeps. Said I am praying one of two scenarios happens. Either the Christian woman comes by here before the time on the card I said I would be leaving, or somebody feels sorry for me and Omar when they see us. Somebody in the park, okay? Not somebody out on the street. I would not get in the car with anybody who sees me, you know, walking on the regular road, but in this park, of course. Male or female, man or woman, anybody asks me in this park, do you need a ride somewhere? Where are you headed? Blah, blah, blah. I would accept it, you know. I feel pretty much 100% comfortable with that. I mean, obviously there's no guarantee of anything, but, you know, you gotta take some risks. Right on, Mars. Omar, baby. Hey, baby. What you doing? Omar. Yeah, what if was just a little too sappy for me. But that was Harry Potter, huh? Daniel Radcliffe, that's Harry Potter all grown up. Harry Potter all grown up, right? That's him, right? I saw like the very first one, but then there's too many, you know. Just like the Emily. Emma, I don't know, what's her name? All grown up and beautiful. Although I like her better with long hair, that's just a preference. I like women with long hair, period, and it doesn't mean I'm sexually attracted to them or whatnot. Although sometimes that could be the case. But in any case, I just usually feel even, you know, Penny on The Big Bang Theory cut her hair, and I like her hair better long. My mom does too. Or longer. I have a hair appointment next week. I had wanted to get it today. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. I mean, I didn't even realize it was New Year's Eve, if you want to know the truth. I know that I didn't, because when I was asking when my videos were due back at the library, and they go, oh, you don't have anything due back till the 31st. I didn't even know when the 31st was. I'm like, oh, it's now. It's Wednesday, you know. Yeah, what if was way too sappy for me. I was not going to pay to get it. Got it because it was free. I figured, why not? Remember, can't return anything tomorrow, so if I rented something today, even if it was free, I would still have to pay the next day, you know. This was a 100% free movie, and I threw all those each, you know. Oh, by the way, remember I got from my storage unit, spelt, angel hair pasta spelt that I had tried at Joe's, and quinoa pasta that I don't think he had it in his cabinet, but I don't think he wound up making it at all. So the verdict is, I love that spelt, the angel hair pasta spelt, quinoa not so much. And it's quinoa corn blend. And corn is a high GMO crop, so even if you get organic, it can carry over or something, I don't know. I think Joe doesn't want to eat corn even if it's organic, so I think he did have that in his cabinet, because I don't think I discovered it on my own, but maybe I did, who knows. In any case, I ate it yesterday, you know, I still have some left, but I'll eat whatever I have in my storage unit when I actually access it, the food, but I will not buy it again. I don't like it, and it's obviously not even remotely as good for you as just plain quinoa, because quinoa is just, they call it almost like a perfect food or something. I don't know. It has a lot of nutrients in it. It's the best protein source for a person who doesn't eat meat, apparently. I think, or it's the highest protein, the grain that has the highest protein. I don't know if it's the best. This can't be the best protein source, because that category would be any kind of bean, you know. So I purchased those, and I probably have more than one in my storage unit. Speaking of which, I need to pay on both of them. Yep, need to do that. You believe I wrote a secret question and don't even know what I put for the answer? But I have to have it written down somewhere, yeah. But it could be written down anywhere in any of these notebooks or anything. That's the problem. I need to order more dog food for Omar, obviously, on my own card. Remember, the dog food before was for Angel and Omar. But as you guys know, I periodically, I give the dog food to dog woman. Remember, dog woman used to take Omar to her vets. No, so that's too far away for me, so I had to switch them, baby. Not having anything to do with dog woman. Why would I? Why am I going to ever again have anything to do with anybody who was cruel enough? Even the cop recognized that. But now that we know, as I told you, what had happened, dog woman had turned back to Auntie, so probably dog woman said X, Y, and Z to the cop. The cop never got back to me. No. Whatever. But regardless, you know, it's bad enough that dog woman said, you know, was trying to go after me over Omar, and I could have that dog taken away from you. Go fuck yourself. No, you can't. And the police, I went to the police and they told me you can't take my dog away from me. Just because I leave him alone in the house. For long periods of time because of extenuating circumstances. You know? It wouldn't even matter if there weren't extenuating circumstances. As long they only care. Remember, that's what cousin told me. As long as your dog is healthy, doesn't have, you know what I mean? Leaving him alone, he's not a kid. Your dog's not a kid. You know, so that's not construed as any type of justification or abuse or justification to take your dog away from you, period. Regardless, remember what she said, were it not for, I wouldn't have anything to do with either you or your mother were it not for those dogs. Yeah, true colors. True colors. True colors. I think my mom was in the other hospital. I don't know. At one point I told her, probably because she asked me something, I'm not going to lie, I said, no, I'm not having anything to do with her. She pissed me off or whatnot. You know, what my mother, if my mother ever gets out, if she ever gets her dog back, you know, those are big ifs. Remember, her future could be fucking shut away in a nursing home to rot and die, shut off from her family. I've been reading cases where that happens. Actually, that one I was reading, I linked it. I think they were allowed to visit their mom in the nursing home, but they had no control over what was happening, and they had to watch her being abused there, and the person who was guardian didn't fucking care, and you know. That's the video I linked to a whole bunch of my videos. Didn't care. They knew that their mother was dying from neglect, but they had no control over no say. Okay? And that is what these motherfuckers are trying to do to my mother. Okay? In some cases they do completely shut off the family. They wouldn't even let the family visit. But even if they don't do that, even if you're allowed, even if we were allowed to visit my mother, you know, the so-called abusers, me and Auntie, you know, we would have no say whatsoever. None. Okay? None. No say in anything that happens to my mother. No say in how she's treated, how she's cared for, what nursing home she goes into. Nothing. Nothing. You'd have no say whatsoever. None. Okay? So this is serious shit. This is not a case where some of these people they're in their ignorance, they appoint somebody guardian over, you know, I've been reading different things. But this is a case where we're being accused of elder abuse, you know what I mean? So, yeah, they would have complete control. Okay? Complete. Why do you think I did those videos where I was screaming to the universe? screaming to the universe for help. And by that, it's just people with knowledge, you know what I mean? If you find other people who can help you, there could be free attorneys out there who are experienced in this shit and who want to help or whatnot, you know? I'm not just chanting like a witch for attention. I'm terrified of what could happen, okay? Terrified. Justifiably terrified. Because I told you, Joe doesn't play around. He went, the minute he realized what was going on here, he went and researched it all and sent me all those links that I shared on my videos, okay? This is real shit going on with real people, okay? And they spelled it out in the goddamn thing that Auntie and I were served. That they neglected to serve Uncle when they were under legal obligation to serve Uncle. They knew damn well he was the healthcare proxy along with me. Co-healthcare proxy. Not some alternate, not whatever. Okay? Co. Alright? But yeah. They spelled it out. They didn't have to actually say the family would have no decision making. It's everything they said. Revoke the healthcare proxy. And remember, this guardian would be complete control. They'd be basically making my mom a ward of the state. You think that doesn't consume my thoughts, my every waking moment? Of course it does. But am I going to say any of that to my mom when I'm talking to her on the phone? Of course I'm not. And I would hope that Auntie would follow that same protocol, but I have no control over her anymore than she has any control over me, okay? But I would hope she would be smart enough to follow that same protocol, you know? Mom's like a child. She goes into these places and she's happy when she can just get people in there to have fun with her. She likes to sing, as you know. I've told you before, even when I was in that shelter, I was printing her out lyrics constantly from the library. And she would reimburse me, you know. She's all kinds of songs she would hear on the radio, and then she'd want the song. She'd want to learn it, you know. She likes to sing and stuff, even in the mental hospitals. So she finds a way, you know, to enjoy herself. She makes friends in there and whatnot, you know. Unless she wants to be in there, she makes the best of a bad situation. Yeah, this is real, people. This is not me being melodramatic, okay? They spelled it right out. I already told you. They wrote. There's a dysfunctional, abusive, manipulative dynamic between the mother, sister, and the you know, my mom can't make decisions for herself, and she's incapacitated, and she needs to be admitted to a nursing facility, and they'll put her on a regimen of that even pissed me off. Put on a regimen of psychiatric medication. She's already on a regimen of psychiatric medication, but of course they want to usurp probably the authority even that the psychiatrist would have or whatnot, you know. She's already on that through her doctors, through the mental health, the doctors she had in the mental health, the doctors she had in the outside world, but they put that in, you know. Because remember, if she's locked up in a nursing home, they have more say in whatever, you know, a guardian over her, conservative, whatnot. And revoke that, I mean, healthcare proxy, that means a stranger has complete and utter control over everything. Because the family has been deemed, you know, unfit to care for her. And it's happened all across the country, okay? Maybe even in other countries, I don't know. When I read comments, Joe sends me these links. I doubt he reads all the comments. There's just too many comments. I didn't read all the comments. You know, said in one, I printed out the comments too, because it was only like 28 pages. The other one, on the grab in the purse, if I printed out those comments, it would have been 70 pages, cost me $15, okay? I didn't feel like spending that. Although I might ultimately spend it because I get a headache reading stuff if I read something that's too long or whatnot, I get a headache in the library. Brief things, like all your comments now that I'm Google Plus member, they all show up in my Hotmail, okay? But it's like you only have to process one thought. There's one comment, and you process that. And actually, I get a whole bunch of comments usually from one video. So once I go and prove them all, and I read them, you know, it's not the same as reading these long comments under this thing that's really deep shit, you know? That's the difference. And Selena writes a lot of short comments, you know, so I can read them fast. It's like 1 or 2 sentences sometimes. Sometimes one sentence or a few words, and then I prove it, you know? But reading this really deep shit in the library, I told you, I listened to that podcast and I broke down in tears right at the library. And now I have the added worry. Because remember, I'm always out on YouTube and doing shit, and then that stupid weasel guy sat down right next to me. And he's not on the computer. He just wants to chat with his friend, and then his friend obviously don't want to chat with him forever. He's there to work too, and you know, you don't know how good of friends they are either. You know, it could be just he's, you know, acquaintance at the library, and then I'll talk to Laura. She's prettier than you. Yeah, I have zero interest in talking to you, even in the fucking outside world. Even if it was in a Dunkin' Donuts or a bar or a coffee shop, I have no interest in you whatsoever. Especially not at the library. So now I have that added worry. And yeah, Selena, any library, there's always people wandering around. Obviously, it was way worse when I'm in the fucking shelter and going to that local library. Because then there's always people looking over your shoulder and whatnot, you know. So sometimes I just had to say, fuck it. But most of the times I just tried to hide. Remember, that was back when, you know, I was trying to hide this from everybody. That was back before Auntie found out about it, okay? And then apparently told the devil, you know, or more devils. Because they certainly didn't find out about it on their own. That would be too much of a coincidence, and there's no fucking way that they found out about it on their own. No. It's a classic scenario, you know. Being pushed by my cousin and 100% believing I was doing the right thing, doing right by my mother. Although, as we already established, my cousin didn't care. I 100% stand by. If my mother's out of the mental hospital and deemed competent, if she wants to go back to Auntie, that is her business. Cousin's like, you don't even want to know the things cousin wrote to me in an email, okay? You know, she was like, and she pushed for anybody, and pushed for permanent, you know, she showed her true colors in the end, you know? She had no right to do that. She didn't. Who is she, you know? She hadn't been a part of our lives for over 20 years. She visited when my, you know, friend Auntie was dying. I was fucking in the shelter. I wasn't going to see anybody, remember? My family were all my enemies and whatnot, and I was in that fucking shelter where I didn't want to be. You think I was going to go and see my cousin? You kidding me? You kidding me? No. No. She and her family, I guess, spent a week here or something. I did not even talk to them. Didn't even talk to my cousin. Nothing. Nothing. It was just, fuck it all, you know. Remember, Omar and I had been through hell, and then I wound up in the shelter. At least he was safe with my mom. Auntie could have forced my mom to get rid of Omar, you know. Auntie had all that power, you know. I was terrified of that constantly, especially when they found out, you know, my mom, he's not trained. It's not his fault, not my fault, okay? It's not like he was my dog solely and I was just a bitch, lazy bitch who didn't train him. No, I was living with other people when we first got him as a puppy, as we've already established. I was working full-time. Remember, Donald neglected to tell me the little tidbit. You wonder why I'll never trust another guy again. He neglected to tell me you know, that he hadn't just got, he'd been on Social Security disability about 10 or more years before I'd even met him. No, that was something he kept secret. He even pretended, he didn't pretend to get a job, he did get a job, but he was fucking over the Social Security company at the same time. So then when he gets caught, because you have to fill whatever, blah, he knew that he would get caught because he'd have to taxes and whatnot when he worked for this job. So then you get caught, you don't get in trouble. They just dock your future pay if you don't tell them the truth about working. They get their money back. They just dock your pay forever until they get back, because you are allowed to work. You're not allowed to make she was making a decent amount of money. You're not allowed to do that when you're on Social Security disability.